Hello, hello. Welcome. I hope everything is all right. Just give me a second, please. hmm Ah, need to do this. Okay. I hope now everything is all right. Thank you for your patience once again. Happy Monday. Yeah, I think you guys can see me there as well. Okay, so how are you today? I want to thank you for being here. I am Ella Morello, and I am a being just like you, having the opportunity to evolve. Hello, hello, to evolve every day. So, today we're going to talk about something that I want to clarify. We're going to talk about spirituality and we're going to talk about self awareness. I want to bring three sentences that people usually tell me. And I hope with this talk, I can start making a little bit of sense in what it is that we actually do here. You know, what it is self awareness, self knowledge, self development, and so on. So, a couple of people, this is interesting. Well, it starts like this. A couple of people arrive to me saying, I don't know how you can help me, but I need help. So that's a big one. Another other people they come to me and say, "Ah, Ella, I am ready to start my path of self development." And also, a lot of people come to me and say, "Listen, but what it is that you do? Because I don't know how to deal with all the information that is available." So I don't know, at some point I'm involved in astrology, in another time I'm involved in something else. So I want us to start from the beginning. What it is, why is this important for us? All right. So to begin with, let's start with that sentence that says, I don't know what I need, but I know I need help. Well, first of all, I want us to keep in mind one thing, okay, for this talk to make sense. We, as of right now, as humans, so quantum physics uh, already know, actually, physics, us human, we already know that the universe is actually made up of dark energy, invisible matter, plasma, and matter. Okay? Being only 1% matter, which physics, regular physics, produces knowledge. So, what I'm telling you here is that 99% of our reality, okay, this is a scientific number, it's a mystery for us. That's where, for example, the quantum physics comes in and say, listen, uh, we are here understanding that something else exists. We don't know what it is. We can measure the energy, but we don't know how it works. So there is this thing of metaphysics, of mysticism. It englobes, it involves it all. So my invitation with this talk is, okay, now we know that 99% of our reality is a mystery. Okay? So, with that in mind, I want to start bringing a couple of things. What I believe, well, you can call it whatever you want, but what happens, and this is a fact, is us human beings, we actually identify a lot with this vehicle, with this body, with our mind. We are attached to social roles. If you are conscious or not about it, that doesn't change the fact that whenever I ask you, who are you? You're probably going to say, I am, and you're going to say your name. I'm the daughter of, I studied this, my interests are, I am a lawyer or I'm a mother, and so on. So we identify with those things as this is what we are. And that's why we are so afraid of almost everything. We are afraid of who we are going to be, even if this is in your unconscious. When we um, break up a relationship, because we are so attached to their role. A lot of mothers, whenever they are kids, that dedicated their life to their kids, whenever they leave the kids leave the house, they lose that sense of identity. Okay, Ella, what does this have anything to do with spirituality and self awareness? Well, I believe that's how I see it, that we are spiritual beings having this opportunity to live this human life here. And that, if you have accompanied any other talks, it's for many reasons, you know. Uh, but anyways, like everything, every memory that you call that you don't know, like let's say you know something, but you haven't learned that in this life. So what does that happen? What is that sense of eternity that we have inside? Because somehow we believe in eternity. If not, if you just thought that this is this, you wouldn't waste your time ever being mad, being sad, wasting life. Okay, so I told you all this for you to open your mind. So whenever someone tell me, I don't know how you can help me, but I need help, that person, okay, or you're not that person, but maybe you know what you want help with, but somehow us human beings, so for example, you might want more vitality, more stability, be more consistent in your spiritual practice. You might want more freedom, more personal power, to work on your self-esteem. Maybe you wish you did not feel stagnated, exhausted, disconnected. So, usually, as humans walking in this journey, this life, we feel a lot of ups and downs. So, there is these times that we are super happy, and other times that we are sad, and somehow we manage to push through life in the best way we can, correct? Uh, there is this, I was watching the other day, I think this is nice that I want to bring this understanding as well. There is a difference between I forgot the name, it's not, is the new era, new age, sorry, new age spirituality and the yogi path, for example, or with whatever we are doing here. Religions, any religion, it takes away our power and put in the hand of something else, something that is separated from you. God, uh, energy, the universe, whatever you call it. Uh, what I am proposing here, which is more or less what the yogi path proposes to us, is for us to do the internal work. So, what, let's say you are completely new to this, you don't know how you need help, or you are overwhelmed with all information that is around and so on. I want to bring clarity here, how you can walk the self knowledge path. So, first, I want us to understand why we need that. if you somehow inside of you feel these things that I told you, you are stagnated, exhausted, somehow life feels like a burden, because you don't accomplish everything that you think you can. You just have like these moments of ups and downs where you feel really good, and then it's all attached to some external goal. When I get that job, I get super happy. When I have that money, I have super happy. We are. That's the tendency of the human being. We are. Why are you a people's pleaser if you are? Well, that's exactly what we do. And the reason why the path of self awareness, actually, the path of self knowledge means getting to know your own self, looking internally, is for you to identify and understand why am I attached to all these things outside? Why everything that happens outside in my life has such an impact on me? Because whenever you are back inside and you are centered, that's when you actually start flowing with life and not force into your life. Ella, this sounds beautiful, but I still am confused. I'm not understanding how do I walk this path and so on. Well, okay, so starting from the fact, I need to share with you that I believe that the work that we are doing here is the most important work you will ever do as a human being. Because the work of self knowledge and being self aware means understanding you are beyond your identifications with this body. And when you actually start walking with this soil of self knowledge under your feet, everything around you starts changing. Your relationships, how you do your work, what is important for you, how you actually have these moments of joy, of happiness, and at the same time, how you deal with the challenges. Because take away from your mind that whenever you are spiritual, or I want to walk the path of self development, forget about it that you are going to reach a line that you're going to cross and you're going to be happily ever after. You're going to be forever happy. This is an illusion. In the same way that you believe in that someone else, maybe God or whoever it is, it's going to come and save your life. You can have all the faith you want, and you should have it, and you should ask for help. However, the work is literally from the inside out. Whenever you start exploring yourself with different tools, you will feel things. You will feel connections. You're not going to be able to explain a lot of things. That is your spiritual connection, let's say this way. But then you won't have the need to actually rationalize those things. So, going back to how do I deal with all information? Well, I want to explain to you that this path of self knowledge can be walked in many, many different ways. We have so many different therapies. So, there are a lot of people that get involved in astrology, other people in theta healing, other people like crystals, other people like to work on their chakras. All I want to share with you is any tool that you decide to use, that's completely fine. And you can actually add tools. However, my invitation for you is don't let this become just more theory for your brain. That's why we get overwhelmed. That's why we don't have time to practice our spirituality in our daily lives. Because think with me, you are a rational being. Doesn't make any sense that you know what makes good to you. Let's say you like meditating. How on earth wouldn't this be your priority, just like eating and taking a shower, if you know that that changes your whole day? The way you relate in your work, for example. The problem with us is we are so identified. A lot of people call this matrix, whatever it is, they are just names and labels. That we are in this route that we don't leave, which is I just have value if I produce. In order for me to produce, I have to uh, get better in this, then this. Then I have to be all these social roles, a good mother, a good father, blah, 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 blah. We keep putting things, and that's why we feel exhausted, we feel tired. I saw another day a Twitter that I found it so interesting, which was everybody has time to go to the gym, eat healthy, be an entrepreneur, have good time with friends, travel, and then the person goes like, "Am I the only one who didn't get it right and how to do that?" Again, it's interesting how our mind doesn't understand time as well because we believe excuse me, we believe that we have all the time in the world to start things that makes us happy, right? To start our company, to do a work that resonates with our soul, to become a mother, or whatever it is. We believe we have time. We believe we fought with someone. We believe we have time to make peace with that person. And at the same time, we believe that every day has literally 1,000 hours because the things that you want to accomplish in one day are incredible. So, whenever you don't accomplish all those things, you feel that you are less, that you have no value, that you're doing something wrong. And then you get exhausted. Oh, I forgot my word. Excuse me. Well, my invitation, what is the work? What is the purpose of self knowledge? It is for you. In order for you to self develop, you need to know yourself because you need to understand how things go on inside of you, where these discomfort feelings come from. And you have to be intimate with them, which we don't do. We try to escape all the time because we don't want to feel bad. So, the work of self knowledge is going to show you who you are, and it's going to invite you to work on everything that is not aligned with your true self, with your divine being inside, to be worked on. And that's how you start using any tools in order to self develop. So, you might, if you are still beginning this path, you might think your problem is in your work. Just to give you an example. Whenever you start working this path, you're going to understand that actually the root cause has nothing to do with your work. It has to do with your need of approval, for example, in everything you do. So, whenever we start attacking the root cause, integrating, healing the root cause, that's when everything else changes as a consequence. The reason why I brought the new age, or, you are the creator of your reality. Well, you are, but not in the way most people think it is. Remember, I'm inviting you to actually step back into your own power. That's the invitation. And that can be done in many different ways. So, what is the way that I am proposing you to do this here? Well, we are doing a journey through the self. Okay, the invitation is we're going to walk each step of the way to get to the root causes of our own being. Ella, uh, but for example, can you explain a little bit more how can astrology help me? How can theta healing help me? How can crystals help me? Well, I want you to know that everything is in your intention. And this we're already talking about the self-development part because in order for you, right? So let's go back to what I brought here. The person say, "I don't know what's going on with me, but I know I need help." First thing is we need to know what's going on with us. But we are so used to putting our health in the hands of others. That's what we do in the doctor. We go there and we expect someone else to tell us what's going on with us. That's how our society works. That's how we are raised. So let's say we're talking about a physical situation. You don't know what you have, you know you're feeling bad. You go to the doctor, he does the exams, and maybe he finds out what you have. Maybe he doesn't. Okay? Great. Whenever we're talking about our mental health, why people cannot take pills without having a professional, first of all, prescribe that to them, and second, accompany them into the journey. Well, that pill is going to fix a symptom, is going to help the person to get out of that hole or that pain, whatever you want to say. However, the person has to keep doing the work because a simple pill, unfortunately, one won't be able to change how we feel about things. That's why it's so important that we know ourselves in order to self develop. So, my point here for you is crystals, astrology, anything can be a road, a map for you. Let me bring you an example. What is astrology? Astrology is whenever you were born, the stars were aligned in a certain way, and there was an energy. That combination makes there is an energy that people are. Let's say some things are going to be easier for you, and other things are going to be harder for you. Can we see astrology as a beautiful map that it helps you understand who you are? What are your characteristics? What is that you actually came to learn here? Because whenever we know where we go and we see a map, isn't it easier to say, okay, I have difficulty on this. So, what are the tools available for me in order to overcome that challenge? And whenever we know we have an ability, a talent, why don't we use that in our favor? Ella, but is this set on stone? Aren't we the creators of our reality? Exactly. So what happens is these are energies, these are possibilities. We have to understand that there is no right or wrong answer, there is no right or wrong path. Whatever decision you decide to take in your life, that's a right decision. There is no right or wrong. That's what our mind does. We have the willpower. So going back to the astrology a little bit, you have the willpower to work on that. You simply have a map, and whatever you decide to go, that's going to be perfect. Your soul is going to have the opportunity to evolve with different situations. You chose to go right, a couple of situations are going to happen, and you will still have the possibility to evolve. You're going to be able to look inside because things are going to bring you different triggers. So, this certainty, this safety that we look for in the outside, it's an illusion. This need of control is an illusion. Everything you have today, everything you feel safe about today can change tomorrow because the only constant in life is change, which is completely fine. As soon as we make peace with that, that's beautiful because that's exactly where lies your power. So we do have the free will. So going back, oh, I was talking about astrology, and this brings us the free will. Wow, manifest, aren't we the co-creators of our reality? Exactly. So, literally, whenever you work on yourself, okay, don't put that, I have talked about this in other talks, but it's important for you to, I want to bring this up again, which is like this. Don't be rush on yourself. Don't be harsh on yourself. Because whenever something really bad happens, this new age tendency is, I created that. Well, Ella personally believes you created that, not consciously, obviously. Your soul, your spirit said, I am ready. That's my belief to learn something from this situation. So instead of you punishing yourself and believing, yes, my energy vibration, no, work on yourself, understand what is it in this situation that I can learn from. So I can start creating a different reality, a different challenge. And that's why the path of self-knowledge, it is a spiral. It's not a straight line that you go from point A to point B. So what I'm proposing you here with this path This journey of the self is we're going to talk about many, many, many different topics. Literally, everything that evolves a human life. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about parents. We're going to talk about uh, money. We're going to talk about work. We're going to talk about everything. Because everything that exists in our life is an opportunity for us to look inside, work internally, and then start feeling different because you might not know what is wrong with you. You might not know, or I'm ready to self develop, but you actually feel the discomforts that you feel, that you actually aim certain things. It might be peace, it might be a family, whatever it is. You do have those wishes of what you want to feel and what you don't want to feel. The invitation here is for you to embrace everything that is part of the human experience. That's the invitation here. However, when we work internally with everything that happens, that's when we start the self development. So, for example, I want to talk about another therapy, right? There is any therapy will do this work. However, they're going to do in different ways. For example, uh, family constellation. I don't know if you are familiar with that. That's, in my opinion, a beautiful tool, a beautiful method, and helps us evolve, okay, or understand reality from a completely different point. We understand where everyone in our family should be staying. What are the dynamics of that? What does that influence in our life? This is one possibility. There is another one that is called theta healing, where we actually reach a level of energy and we start working on limiting beliefs, for example. There are many tools that you can use. What am I proposing here with you for the journey of the self? One that is going to work with any healing tool. So there is the journey through the self, and then there is healing tools. Healing tools is everything that you can use in order to bring you more information, like a map. Okay, whenever we do that, you bring information. Why is that, Ella? I have all the information. Well, not really. What happens is we are operating our lives much more from our unconscious than from our consciousness. And what is in our unconscious? Well, a lot. From 0 to 7 years, your first perception of reality. You were a kid, correct? Kids don't understand truly, correctly, and perfectly reality. They believe, let's say, just one example. Whenever their parents leave to work, the kid doesn't have the capability of understanding that they are doing that because they want you to have what to eat, they want to provide you a good education. All you see is they are abandoning me. This is just an example. This is all unconscious. But all this information is stored there. So, what happens when we are adults? Whenever we feel jealousy, is the problem really the jealousy? Or is your or it is the root cause you're afraid of being abandoned? That's more or less where I'm going. The journey through the self is this whole understanding of our own unconsciousness. Because whenever anything is unconscious and you bring it to consciousness, that's when you are able to make a choice. That's when we are able to actually change our reality. And unfortunately, I swear I wish I had how was the little thing like this that the I don't know what to say, the magic that you do like this and everything. Well, what I'm trying to say here is I wish I was a genius of the lamp that I could just do like this, bling, and everything would be solved. But again, so what is the purpose of everything that we are doing? No one is saying that this path is easy. I'm also not saying it's hard. I'm simply saying it's a choice. Whenever we decide to make this journey of the self, a lot of things are going to come up because we're going to be looking face to face to our fears, to our resistances, And instead of fighting against them or putting them under the rug, what we are actually doing is welcoming them. Whenever we start welcoming them, their power over us start going down, 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 and diminishing a point that you're going to literally start living a life from a completely different place. So, the invitation of the journey of the self is always this work that you will be able to do your whole life. A new challenge is going to rise. You already know how to do that path. And I'm going to bring to you many, many different insights and profession and perceptions in different areas of our life. But truly, this path is simple. It's simple in the steps you have to take, okay? Because the amount of pain is going to be equal to the amount of our resistance. So, literally, you can become and figure out your true self and realize your divine being inside tomorrow. Or you can take 50 years. It's all related to the size of your resistances. So, my invitation is don't look at the last step in the stair. The invitation is today. You already took one decision. You're here with me. Today, we are going to work in the first step and then in the second step. Okay? And the tools for healing, it's a big and huge opportunity for you to actually start using those in your favor. For example, let's say you figure out there is a lot of integration needed to do regarding your willpower, regarding your belief on your own self. Oh well, interesting. I'm gonna work on my solar plexus and I'm gonna do exercises and meditations and I'm gonna use crystals to balance that energy center. Beautiful. Do you see you're using a healing tool? But you needed to know what was the cause before you could use and start integrating that. Okay, so remember that everything, it's your intention. Yes, you can use many different tools, but understand that all of them are actually bringing you to the same place. The end goal is the same, and which is to uncover your true self. This is who you are. Imagine that you are the source of life. Your being is the source of vitality. If you're not feeling without vitality, that's because you have created so many layers with all these personas that you believe you have to be in order to survive this world. That's exactly what's going on. So, our work is first start identifying and understanding, taking away these layers. This is a consequence. So, with a simple work, which is the journey through the self, you start letting go of these layers. You're putting down your resistances that somehow your self believed was needed in order for you to live this life. And then we're going to start manifesting and elevating our energy, if you want to call it and label it this way, through many other or many healing tools that you wish. Let's say I love doing rituals. Bringing the ritual back to my life truly just helps me connect with my power, my own power. And I work with guides. And I feel the power of these guys. But I also know that they cannot do anything for me if I'm not open and asking for help and allowing them to do that. So I am a sovereign being. So whenever you feel a victim of situations in your life, remember you are the one taking this power away. And don't be mad at yourself because we're all in this together. We are all learning how to love unconditionally, how to go back to our power. There is a beautiful understanding that is called in this spiritual life, which is the history of us as spirits. But this is not the talk of this talk today. I think I'm gonna do this, but basically, he explains why, as of right now, us humans are so attached to our mind, and why do we avoid so much our emotions? And we believe the mind is related to control, while emotions is something we cannot control. Well, this path of the self, it will really open up and invite you to start dealing with your emotions. The way is not around it, but through it. So, the spiritual, remember, my dear, it's remembering that you are a spiritual being, or if you want to call something else, feel free. But you are more. The point is, you're more than your body and with the things that you identify. And literally, this walk back home that we talk has everything to do with going back to simplicity rather than adding more and becoming more, everything more complex. Like someone shared with me, I don't know how to deal with all this information. That's the problem. You're dealing only with information, you're not actually experiencing those. So, the reason why I'm going to be talking, you're going to have available here different tools is don't try to rush your process. Start feeling it. Go back to it. Start with one thing, see how you feel, put into practice, and then you go to the next one. Because actually, some tools are going to be better for you in some parts of your life and other tools in another time of your life. All the tools, remember, leading you to that place. So if you want to go back, being the source of vitality to your life, being the source of power, stepping back, feeling back all that you are, well, you first have to open space. There is a lot there that we just have to clean the house. And that's all about the journey of the self. This is done internally through self awareness, through self knowledge, in order to self develop. If you want to start with one issue in your life, start from there. But you will see, as soon as you start walking backwards in this issue, that the root cause is something else. Is something that you have the power to heal, which is beautiful. That when we realize that. So I want to thank you for being here with me, and I wish you a powerful and transformative journey. We're going to talk about many different things, archetypes, healing tools, uh, perceptions, and so on. So I want to say I'm proud of you because this path takes courage, a lot of courage, looking inside and understanding our misconceptions of reality. It's not something that easy, but we're here to do this work. So I'm glad you are doing it and I am doing it as well. I hope to see you soon and have a great journey. Bye bye.